If you're on the fence about buying, or if you're planning to wait until 2022, in this video I'm going to dive into why buying by the end of 2021 may actually be the best option for you. Now, if you're looking to upgrade in Ocean City and you're going to need to sell your current place, make sure you stick around until the end, because I'm going to cover exactly why you will be at a huge disadvantage come the spring. Hey everybody, I am Nick Deckard. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. If this is your first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and turn on notifications as I put out videos about real estate in Ocean City each and every Tuesday. Now, we all know what happened last year in the spring market. It was completely out of control, demand far outstripped supply, and there were multiple offer situations absolutely everywhere on almost every listing. And when I look ahead to the coming spring, I honestly see a lot of the same things coming. What I want to talk about is the couple changes that are happening in the market that may have a similar result in the coming spring market. Now, if you followed these market reports that I've been putting out 2 times a month over the last few months, you'll know that I talk about pending sales and closed sales a lot. Now, when we compare those numbers back to 2019, pre-COVID, it's a good measure to see how market activity is trending, if it's normalizing, because comparing anything to 2020 is completely pointless. So over the past few months, all of the stats have actually been lining up pretty closely with 2019. So what that tells me, and what that should tell you as well, is that the market really is normalizing. So despite the higher prices, despite everything that's been going on, the demand is still there to gobble up any supply that's coming. We've been stuck around 300 properties on the market over the last 3 to 4 months, and we've actually dipped back below 300 now as of the day I'm making this video. I initially had an expectation that early in the fall, in September and October, we would have a good bit of inventory coming to market, and that would actually help us, right? We would have more available homes. If the demand really wasn't as strong as it had been in the summer and the spring, maybe inventory would finally accumulate and we would start to see things level out. But all that has done, with more inventory coming to market, has given buyers more opportunities to gobble up more properties. So as you can see on the chart here, pending sales with the white arrows are comparing 2019 to 2021. We're actually down a good bit, but you have to remember this is not a video made as of the end of the month, so I would expect that number to grow. When pending sales decrease like that, that simply shows that the demand and the buyers are backing off a little bit. And having talked to many buyers over the last few weeks, there has been a trend in people waiting until after the holidays. You know, there's a lot going on in the fall. With holidays coming up, it's completely normal that demand does take a reasonable drop down below previous month's levels. So what I really want to talk about, and what shows you how strong demand still is it closed sales. So on this chart here, the little blue bar is what is expected to close and what is on the books to close by the end of the month. So when all is said and done, we're actually going to be above 2019 levels for September and October. So those 2 charts show us that the demand is still there, and that going forward through the rest of the fall, there will still be demand. There will still be properties being bought up. So as new listings hit, which I do expect them to now start decreasing, as again, the same reason buyers back off, it's the same reason sellers back off. They've kind of made that determination whether they're going to stay put or not for the next few months, and maybe they will revisit the market in the spring. And I did run all of the other numbers that I usually run with price, days on market, and things of that nature, and everything is still trending in the same direction. Days on market are going down. Prices for both single families and condos are going up. So I've spent a lot of time digging into 2 main factors that I think are going to play a big part in what happens this coming spring. And those 2 things are interest rates and how they're going to change, as well as home prices and what they're projected to do over the next 12 months or so. So when it comes to interest rates, I'm going to talk about a minimum expectation and a maximum expectation. So worst case scenario, rates are expected to raise nearly a whole point, an entire percent, by the end of 2022, and that would bring us up to about 4%. Historically, that's still pretty low, but compared to where we've been, that's going to hit your pocketbook much more than it would have previously. Now, best case scenario, rates are expected to go up about a half a point by the end of 2022. So let's talk through in a minute exactly what that will mean for your monthly payment. And the other factor, home prices in general. Best case scenario, they go up only 6% by the end of 2022. And worst case scenario, they will go up about 16%. And this is by economists, professionals, investors all across the country, and this is their aggregate. So again, all of these numbers, what do they mean to you? In this example, let's talk about a $750,000 property. So if you were to purchase that today with today's interest rate of about 3%, your monthly payment would be $2,530. And over the course of a year, that would add up to that $30,355 that you see. Now, let's talk about what we expect in the spring of 2022. So I'm going to assume a 10% price increase between now and then. That may seem steep, but realistically, where we are now, there aren't too many multiple offer situations. That's what's really driving prices up. And it only takes a handful before the market catches on, sellers catch on, and things really start to go all the way up. So let's say a 10% price increase and only a 0.5% mortgage rate increase in total is going to add up to $400 more per month. And over the course of a year, you're looking at over $5,000. And we didn't even touch on what that means for down payment, right? If you're putting 20% down, that's going to increase. So as you can see here, this does not paint the prettiest picture. So if you're on the fence, I would highly encourage that you take a look at what's out there now, or if you don't see what you like, let's have a quick conversation. And if you know what you're looking for, let me try to go out and find it for you so you can avoid all of the rush and the headache that is going to come in the spring. Now, if you're considering updating, everything that we talked about will still apply to you, but let's talk about why you're going to be at a huge disadvantage compared to if you were to try to buy now. So if you recall in the spring, multiple offer situations were absolutely everywhere. That was the norm. They are so few and far between now that I honestly haven't personally encountered any on any deals that I've been a part of over the last few months. With the multiple offer situations, what that does for you as a home seller, you have the home sale contingency, right? If you need to sell your home to have enough for the down payment and or to qualify for the mortgage, that puts you at a disadvantage to buyers who don't, right? They may just be buying for the first time, or maybe they're one of the lucky few who do not have to sell and don't need those proceeds and can make the purchase anyway. So in the spring, you're going to be putting yourself at a disadvantage. You're going to be at the bottom of the pack because your offer is not going to be appealing, right? Unless you pay the seller to take on the additional risk of your property not selling in time or getting tied up somewhere along the way. So how can you avoid that? Where we are now, home sale contingencies are actually not a deterrent because a lot of sellers, again, are not getting multiple offers. So if they're getting near their asking price and there is a home sale contingency, they're good with it. They have no problem because that's still going to get them their top dollar. But the difference is you're not overpaying to get there, right? You're not going $50K over asking to try to hopefully get a shot at getting the seller's attention to consider your offer. So if you're thinking about upgrading, I highly encourage you, again, to look at what's out there. If you don't see what you want, let me know what it is that you're looking for, and I'll go explore and try to find it for you. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, just make sure you hit the like button below. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.